We now need to consider the usage of human resources by management. The management of an organisation need to recognise the importance of human resources and how to use those human resources to best advantage. Managers use human resources to consider the people to employ, and they do this for two main reasons. The first of those is efficiency. They wish to employ employees to work for them who will be efficient. So the best use of employees by time. Can we use the employees' time to best advantage for ourselves as an organisation? Can we use their skills, their knowledge, their experience and their abilities, again, to our best advantage? So managers are looking to use the best of what the employee can provide for them. One way of helping to do that in the modern age is to employ people who are recognised as being multi-skilled. Many companies will look to employ someone and they would choose between one person and another because they have more skill than the other person in a given area. They have more qualifications, for example, in a given area. But in the modern age, this has developed further. Very often now, it does mean that companies are not just looking to employ one people because they have more skill in one area than another employee. No, they're looking to employ one person as opposed to another because they can also provide additional skills. An example I'll give you is the one of a person being employed because they have excellent skills in the area of information technology. But in addition to that, one candidate can offer the ability to speak one or two or three additional languages to the language of the country concerned. That means that clearly they will be seen by the potential employer as a better candidate because they offer additional skills, and those other skills can be tapped into in the future in addition to the IT skills for which they're currently going to be employed. So that is one area of consideration. What it does mean is what's called the consideration of this. Managers trying to organise their employees to achieve maximum effect, but only using minimum effort. Just enough effort to achieve what they're trying to achieve. Then retaining that resource, retaining that energy, if you like, to utilise it elsewhere within the company, within the department as well. The second part is to do with effectiveness. We can have efficient employees, but we need to consider the outcome. Effectiveness is to do with, in the modern age, employees being measured by their output. What does the employee deliver to the organisation that is paying the wages or the salaries of that person? And in the modern age, many companies, many department managers are measuring each and every employee who reports to them. They're measuring them in how they are performing. They may be setting tasks per week or per month. They are agreeing with that employee what they're going to deliver, what they're going to achieve for the company, and that might be measured in the way of quantity, number of items produced. It might be in the number of sales produced. It might be the value of those sales, and therefore they can measure the performance of that individual. So individuals are being measured now. They are being measured to prove their particular effectiveness, and that can be linked with some form of bonus element, and that employee, if they meet a target at the end of the month or they beat that target, they will get a bonus. Other employees in the same area of the company will have their targets, and if they fail to meet those, they will not earn the bonus. So you can see that individuals are being rewarded according to individual effort. So what I'm saying here is two main considerations where managers are considering the importance of human resource and using them to best advantage. The first one, if you remember, was efficiency, and the second one was effectiveness. Now this does involve a consideration of the worker. What is happening in recent times is companies are looking to downsize. Terrible word, but it's a word that's used a great deal. What that means is less people on the payroll full-time. They need a core number of workers, but other workers they do not need on a regular, ongoing, monthly basis. So many companies now have a situation where they have a mixture of workers. They have full-time workers, they have part-time workers, they have workers who are involved in job share. What that might mean is two ladies who have children at school, they will work alternate days, although one will work in the morning, the other in the afternoon. It means that combined, these two people are actually fulfilling one full-time job, but each is only doing part of that job because she has other considerations in her life. She needs to be perhaps at home at a certain time or at the school gate at a certain time to collect her child or children from school. So the third area is job share. Fourth is flexi workers, tremendous amount now of flexibility in the workplace. The worker needs to deliver so many hours of work per month for the company. And they can do that in the office, but not necessarily from 9 till 5. They can do it from 3 o'clock in the morning until midnight, who knows. Basically, they're clocking in the number of hours they're doing when they arrive, when they start, when they finish, and they're working at hours that are flexible to suit themselves, to suit their lives outside of work. Many companies in the creative areas, such as advertising, public relations, do this because employees cannot necessarily be creative at given times in the day. They'll want to come into the office at certain times when they're feeling creative, when they have some creative ideas to develop. Others, of course, are working from home. Flexi working there, where they may log on, so it's provable that they're starting work on their computer at home. They're going to start working for the company for so many hours today, and it can be shown the number of hours they're doing before they finish. So flexi working is developing greatly in the world in the modern age. Another tremendous growth area is the one of contract workers. So many companies have people with particular skills and abilities, and in due course they have a task. That task can be called a project, and it leads to what is called project team working. It means that a group of people from the organisation will come together to actually develop and deal with this problem, this task, and complete it within a given time. They may select a number of people who are multi-skilled from different parts of the company, from marketing, from sales, from finance, from manufacturing, come together. And they may identify there's a skill area that no one in the company has. So they will actually arrange for someone to come and join in. Someone will be contracted to come and work for the company, perhaps for 6 months. And whilst they're there, they will be a member of this project team. They will be part of the team working environment. They'll be involved in the objectives of that particular project, the budget that's set, the time by which it must be completed and so forth, and they will be part of that team. In due course, let's hope that they are successful, they will deliver that task. The other people, because they're full-time employees, will go back to their individual departments. The contract worker will complete his or her 6 months, or indeed perhaps they've completed the task within that. But they will then leave the company. That will be something new on their CV. It will show that they have been involved in a successful project, but they will leave the company, and it may be that in due course they will then become a contract worker for another company entirely. Or, as they are now known by this company, next time they have a project team, they may ask this person, if they are available, if they will come back yet again and join another team of workers on a different project. So many people are now contract workers. They're actually, in essence, self-employed, and they're hiring themselves out to companies on an ongoing basis, perhaps for a number of months, perhaps longer than that. But then perhaps at the end of that, they'll take a break, take a holiday, refresh themselves, and come back into the market to work again, possibly for a totally different company. And the final one of those that I've listed is the one of casual labour. Many companies operate on a seasonal basis. They make products that are seasonal, who knows, ice cream or something like that. And so in some months of the year they're making far less product than other times. In those months when they're making a great deal of product, they will look to hire people in for just a short time. That will be casual labour. It might mean where the machines are working during the day producing, now in these months they will need to work those machines daytime and nighttime. So these people might be involved for just a few months in the endeavour to produce more of a product, use the machines more often over 24 hours, and they will just work for those few months seasonally, and then not be retained at the end of that time when demand for that given product will begin to fall once more. Okay. So that is a consideration there, team working and the types of worker. I mentioned downsizing. Downsizing, therefore, reducing the number of people regularly on the payroll. People who are on the payroll full-time are costly for many reasons, partly due to tax and national insurance and other matters as well. The company Nokia, very famous company, they've announced very recently indeed that they have a situation where for the first time ever in the world, their market share has fallen below 30% of mobile phones sold. They had a market share of way above 30% at one time. It has now just dropped below 29% for the first time ever. They have responded to that in several ways. One of the ways is they've announced that they will be reducing their worldwide workforce by 10%. That 10% will not be immediate. Those people will be asked to leave over time. They're looking to reduce the number by 10% by December 2012. So gradually people will leave. Some will leave through what is called natural wastage. They will retire, or they will decide to move on to another company. They will leave this company. They will not be replaced. But in due course, some people will be asked to leave to make up the full number, and those people, based upon the length of time they've been with the organisation, will be given some form of payment at the time of leaving the organisation. So they're downsizing by 10% of employees worldwide, simply because of market conditions. Yes, they were dominant in the mobile phone market. Clearly, they are not dominant in the smartphone market, and they will need to reappraise that. They've recently appointed a man from Microsoft, and that man is now going to link Nokia with Microsoft, so we can expect new products from them in the future. And who knows, if successful, they might start employing additional people all over again. Just to complete on this, I want you to be aware of one more thing, what has led to change. In the past, companies employ lots and lots of people. Later on, they introduced more machines in the factories and they needed less people. But of course, over the last 40 or 50 years, the efficiency drive has been more towards office people to reduce the number of people who are called white-collar workers as opposed to blue-collar workers in the factory, and greatly the introduction of computers, computer software, to aid the speed of work. And for example, companies that may have had 20 people in the accounts department might now only need 6 or 8 people working at computers. They can do the jobs of many, many more people who were previously employed. So computerisation has led to change in efficiency there. And we need to consider other links as well. Computer-aided design has led to changes in that area of the market, and of course computer-aided manufacturing. So you're using computers to help design new products, you're using computers to speed up the manufacturing process. An example of that would be in the printing industry. And then finally, we need to consider robotics, where companies are looking to replace people by metal people, robots instead of real people. And an example of that I'll give you is the Citroën Picasso car. Even the advertising shows that that car is entirely made by robot. So you can see that where perhaps a team of 6 or 8 people collectively would have made that car in the past, that type of car, now they are not needed at all, because it needs one person just to make sure the robots are geared up and ready to run, and they can produce the car instead of a team of people. So clearly these developments over time are having an effect on the marketplace, and therefore in some instances there are less jobs available to human beings.